Life Exposed, a unique take on documentary filmmaking and the people who create them. We take you through the director's lens and reveal the lives of everyday New Yorkers, from rockers to toddlers to MMA fighters. Join us on their journey, their life exposed.
Welcome to Life Exposed, where we give you the insight on some of the amazing stories here in New York. My name is Crystal Williams, and we've got an awesome lineup of action-packed stories for you today. Music, the movement, and the style. Everybody get ready to be rocked out of your mind, because my first guest is a headbanger who did a documentary on his good friend Fernando, who is the lead singer of a band named Amnocron. Everybody, give it up for Jorge Grano. Hello, Jorge. How are you? So I viewed your film, and my first question for you is, why music, and why this band?
Music is music because I like it. I feel comfortable playing it. I'm a guitar player. And this band especially because Fernando, the main character, is my friend. And that was not easy to work with the band, but I feel comfortable doing that.
So there were problems or obstacles that you faced while filming?
Of course, there's always problems doing everything. And yeah, there were a couple of problems. The first problem that I got was the interview. I got to do the interview 3 times.
Wow.
To make it perfect. But yeah, it worked.
Okay, well, let's take a look at it.
Okay.
My name is Fernando Aguilar, and I'm the lead guitar of Amnocron. Right now, I'm having my hands an Ibanez A series. I create many different sounds, such as the metal charge. It's a combination of distortions and has 3 or 4 guitars playing. It sounds like that. When you play a note, you can hear like 4 guitars. I wrote a song called Before I Die. It's really heavy, very simple to play. The solos are not that fast as other songs, but it has to be clear in guitars and clear in the voices to reach the people's heart. We have to practice a lot, learn scales, know the names of the notes, come along with other kind of music, not only heavy metal. I tried to mix some influences, the old school and the new school, the influences of my friends, of my partners, if they want to, listen a good riff, something like Iron Maiden. I love to play that way also. To be successful, you have to put your heart, your feelings, and your energy into this kind of music. actually part of the shows when when people start the mosh pit and the hand banging and they start screaming. That's good to know that people feel what you are feeling. It's a new experience every year.
I noticed that you filmed some of the showcases or some of their shows. How was that actually being there filming a live band?
I feel great because I got the access. I got the
Okay.
access to shot everything, almost anything I want, and I got the support of them as a friend, uh, as a friend of mine, Fernando, and the support of the rest of the crowd.
Which is great.
Yeah,
As a fellow artist, how did you feel though? Do you think that, because you know the stereotype for most groups
Yeah.
or even most rock bands are that they're out of control. Did you feel that this was the case for this band?
and I don't think so. I think that every single lyric
Mm-hmm.
of every single song they wrote had a social context.
Okay.
So the
So they
audience,
had a deep meaning
yeah,
behind every song.
the audience always feel identified with their songs and try to catch the good things, the good images of they playing on stage and they singing the lyrics.
And
to
you
the
can
people.
really tell how much Fernando really loved his craft. The way he spoke about it, you can just tell even the way he played. And it's him, 3 other band members, and
Yeah.
3 of them play the guitar, and then 1 plays the drums. Have you ever played with them?
No, I've been playing with other bands, even the jazz workshop band of
Okay.
York College, Retroactive, that was my last band, and yeah, mostly rock and roll bands. But this one was like my experiment.
Do you have an interesting song of theirs?
Interesting songs.
One of their songs, or any of them your favorite? Any of you can relate to? Do they do things that you know? What do they sing about?
Oh, that song, Before I Die.
Before I
that,
Die?
That was actually the name of my project.
Oh wow, it relates, so that's good.
Yeah.
Do you think that you learned anything from filming this project, or is there anything that you would like to change if you had the opportunity to do it all over again?
I think that we always learn. We learn every day, every time we do something. I learn everything. And I won't say I want to go back and change something, but I would say I would like to do something different to learn.
That's great. Did Fernando actually, did he get a chance to view the project?
Yeah, he liked it. He was proud of that.
That's great. He actually got to see himself as an
Yeah.
artist behind the scenes, what people see him for. If you had to recommend this course to somebody, what would you say the biggest goal is, or the best thing that you learned from the class?
The support. That was the support that I got from the classmates.
From your peers.
And yeah, and even from my professor. Professor Smith was a great support for me.
Would you ever do another documentary about music?
Of course, yeah. Why not?
Well, thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing future documentaries
Thank
of
you too.
yours. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Next up, this man will sweep you off your feet with his smooth moves from his documentary titled On Two with Michael. Everybody, give a warm welcome to David Roque.
How you doing, Crystal?
Hey
Nice to
David,
meet you.
how are you?
Good.
So, why dance and why did you decide to focus on Michael?
Michael was the only interesting person that I actually thought was worthy of doing a this project on because he's the most interesting. He did a lot of traveling. He seemed like a real person, so I figured I could get a good segment out of him.
And why did you feel that dance was real important to show?
Dancing was Michael's life, so I just wanted to see for myself and show the viewers a point of view from his perspective, walking in his shoes, seeing how his life is and how much he enjoyed it, so you can see the passion.
Would you say that dancing is a good extracurricular activity for young people?
Absolutely. Dancing is great because it can keep the kids off the street and it can keep kids to lose weight, you know, for those obese children who sit down and play video games all day, help them lose weight.
Now, Michael danced regularly. He was in an organization that danced for the community, correct?
Yes.
How many times did he perform? I believe he traveled. He travels to different places.
Yeah, he traveled all over. His count I can't tell you, but I know he's been to Germany, he's been to LA, he's been to Miami, he's been to Dominican Republic, and he put all these shows on, and everybody loved it.
All right, well, let's take a look at your video.
Sure.
Salsa dancing to me is pure culture. It's just feeling. Anything that comes to your mind, your heart, and Latin rhythms, just keep going, feeling the music, using your body in different ways to get how you feel out. It was my birthday and my mom signed up for classes there. She saw it on the news, so Salsa Dancing Dance Studio. So I walk up the stairs, we get in there, mirrors all over the place. Ever since then, it's just been something I do. I was born in Brooklyn, a really simple neighborhood. Crime was high. I didn't fall into any categories, you know, I wasn't the average kid in the block. Then I came out to Queens. Dancing in my life has made me mature, grew up, not like everybody else just hanging out in the corner, just doing nothing with themselves. Choreography was so extreme, so intense, and the themes were amazing. We had several themes, from gangster routines to Christmas, just playing out social dancing, just gatherings, just to make the crowd go out. Set your mark. Once that music comes on, all of that you forget, you just get in the zone. Just start feeling the music, you just feel like you're on the stage by yourself. From there on, it's just a rush. The last performance was pretty hectic. When it was over, it was just like, man, that was it. I want to do it 5 more times before we leave. If I wasn't dancing, I don't know where I would be right now. I was like, wow, I can't believe I went through that. So I definitely would do it over and over and over again. Everything was worth it. I don't regret anything about it.
I really like the costumes in this. It reminds me of when I was younger and when I was in this after school program and we all dressed up in like little dance costumes. It's really cute. But the girls, their costumes are very revealing. And the guys, like, they tend to match it.
It looked like the most fun I had ever seen in my life, watching them dancing with those lack of clothing, shall I say. It was very interesting. It actually serves a purpose to show not only their passion, but the way dancing is a form of communication to show, I guess, a more sexual side of how they feel.
Now, Michael stated that when he dances, it's something that he really enjoys. You can see the passion in him. Now, also, he travels to different places, yes, and just like you said earlier, that it would keep children out the street, he did mention that it kept him out the street. And being that you guys are friends, how often did you see him?
I didn't see him very often at all, to be honest. It was really hard to to book him for the gig because he was still traveling, and you know, he had to find just the few hours of time that he had. I had to get all my footage, and we did a lot of traveling through the boroughs to see him do some of his performances. You know, we went to the slums. It's pretty dangerous, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, we had a lot of very expensive equipment, and it was looking a little scary out there.
So you actually, knowing his life beforehand, before you even started the documentary focusing on Michael, was it more different for you actually knowing about it or seeing it? Did you learn anything from actually seeing him in motion?
Knowing about it, I wasn't really too interested, but seeing it it got me into it. It didn't give me the feeling that I wanted to go out and dance personally, but it was so interesting to see from his perspective, to see what he's gone through, all the challenges, you know, the blood, sweat, and tears, and that went into the project, what he does for a living, choreography, everything is so detailed and in depth. It's beautiful.
Now you are of Latin descent. So
That is
do you have
true.
some moves yourself?
I actually do not have any moves. Yes, the ladies tell me I cannot move my hips for my life.
What is your favorite kind of, even though you don't dance, what is your favorite kind of dance? Is it salsa, merengue, bachata? And what can you say that Michael enjoys the most?
Michael enjoys the most, I guess, dancing on two, because that's his style. He's very comfortable with it. He's very good at what he does. Me, personally, I think hip-hop dances are pretty cool, and that would be it.
Would you recommend his organization or his group of people on too? Would you recommend that to young hosts, young teens, young people who want to be in it?
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea. You know, it really helps them stay off the streets, and it's not a program, but it's really good, and you get the exercise out of it and everything, so it's really good for the kids.
Well, thank you for coming, David.
Thank you.
Y ahora que la cosa se va a poner buena aquí. Gozadera total.
My next guest has a good eye for the arts, as seen in his film titled Jonglish. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Kevin Fandino. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hi.
Mwah. So why this title, Jandingo?
I chose the title Jonglish because it was self-built. As an artist, that's what he writes on his that's how he signs off on work, so it just seemed to fit,
So that's his signature.
basically.
What did you find real interesting about this project?
The interesting thing I found out was that he wasn't confident about his work. Like, I see it as something like there's potential there. Other people seen it and they're like, wow, he has a lot of ability, he has a lot of skill. But at the same time, when he sees it, it's like, it's not good enough. I need to be better. There's someone always better than him.
Well, let's take a look at it.
I'm a new soul. I came to this strange world hoping I could learn a bit about how to give and take. But since I came here, felt the joy and the fear.
I started out basically a paper, pencil, and too much free time was in my hands when I was growing up. What motivated me into the art world was a good friend of mine. When I was like 7, when he introduced me to drawing because he had amazing talent. That inspired me into the whole thing, and from there it was just copy and learn kind of thing, and just repetitive drawing, because I had nothing better to do with my life.
strange world, hoping I could learn a bit about what is true and fake. But why all these?
But as far as style goes, it's very illustrative, and to add that extra word, detailed. People seem to like it, I guess, because of the vibrant colors and the style that I played with.
A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off.
Not everything has to be conceptualized as a masterpiece. Everything comes up as a rough draft. Rough draft, rough draft, rough draft, until you can completely say, there's a masterpiece. I know I'm good, but then it settles it down to, am I good enough? Taking these college courses, I'm learning what I've needed to learn to advance as an artist. I may not be doing the best I can now at this point, but every day I'm trying to strive to get better at each different aspect of the arts. Professionally as an artist, my future in terms of income, it's not really a set in stone kind of thing. Hopefully I'm at a good place. I expect myself to be actually working professionally as an artist, but realistically, I want to be illustrator, cartoonist. I'm a little ambitious, it's what it is. I actually hate that. I actually hate Junglish.
Well, as you can see and as our viewers saw, John has a lot of talent. He's interested in cartooning, wording, different things about art. And what really got me shocked was when he said that he doesn't feel if he'll be good enough or would he ever be good enough. What do you say about that? Do you say he's not confident?
I see it as him being humble. At the same time, whenever you're an artist, you're never confident if you're going to be the next big thing. You're always going to try to be, you're always going to try to reach for it, but at the same time, you just always feel that there's someone out there better than you, because once you feel that you're the best, it's easy to get knocked off. So I think he's approaching it with a level head and like common sense, I think.
What did you learn from making this project?
What did I learn? I learned a lot about myself, actually, by studying somebody else. I learned that I started to pay attention to detail after a while. I started to figure out his I studied his speech patterns, so when cutting, I knew where to cut and stuff. So I learned a lot of detail. I'm very attentive to detail.
Now you said you did this project and you focused it on John because he was very talented. But do you yourself have an interest in the art, and if so, which one?
Well, I see myself more of a culinary artist. Besides doing stuff like this, I also like to cook, and I also dabble in, I just make random recipes and such. So I see myself as an artist with my medium as food.
If you had the choice of doing this project over, would you choose another topic? And if so, would it be on the same person? If not, what on?
I would do it on the same person, but maybe a different aspect. I was leaning toward going another direction with it, but yet there wasn't enough time to put it together.
What was the biggest obstacle you faced? Was it the time that you just mentioned?
I think the biggest obstacle, there were several things, but maybe the biggest obstacle was myself. I wasn't pleased with it. I just never satisfied my own craving for or satisfying myself with what I've seen, the story and everything like that.
If someone wanted to take a class here at York, would you recommend CT 101 for them? And if so, why?
I honestly recommend CT 101 because it's the worst class you'll ever take because there's so much work. But once you finish it, you feel so accomplished, and the friends you make through the college assistants and people taking the class with you, it's like a new sense of camaraderie. And it's something that you don't feel in every other class.
Would you major in CT?
I actually am majoring in CT.
You are?
Yes.
What's your minor?
My minor right now, I'm between psychology and journalism.
Do you think you'll do future documentaries?
Honestly, yes. I am trying to see if I could find a career in this. I'm trying to see if I could do something dealing with media. So yeah, I'm really trying to do something.
And then John actually gets to view this, and what was his outlook on it?
When John saw this, he actually hated it. He wasn't satisfied, and that's why we're not talking.
Okay, well, thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Well, that's all for today. We thank you for watching Life Exposed. I'm your host, Crystal Williams. Thank you, DJ Hazel Eyes. Have a good night.